political science class here has been studying the U.S. election all semester. We're going to check in with them and see what they're predicting.
So my night will be predetermined very quickly. Okay, they say this election could take days to know. I will know very soon because I really think that Republicans are going to take the Southeast.
We were actually talking about things that would sway elections and how certain news events impact candidates' perceptions, and that was very interesting to see okay, this happened, what's the effect? And Dave described that really well and talked us through it.
It was really interesting because most of the time when I've watched past elections, I've looked at polls within the last 2 weeks before it, but from here, although we didn't start at the point when Kamala Harris took over to be the candidate instead of Biden, we did start at a point where she was just building up her support, and it really looked like it was going to be a much more decisive election because she was gaining so much support, and yet now we're looking at a point where there are multiple swing states where it's going to be a very narrow victory possibly.
Being a dual citizen, and I was very invested in American politics ever since the 2016 election.
How much of influence did this course have on your vote?
I did know who I was going to vote for. However, I think the great thing about this course is it is very unbiased. So despite me knowing who I was going to vote for initially, you still kind of see both sides and you learn more about, what does the Democratic Party really stand for traditionally, same with the Republican Party. So I think with it being very unbiased, it still allowed me to kind of think about things in a different way.
When you and I first met at the beginning of the semester, you were talking about following this from a marketing standpoint and when candidates peaked. Have they peaked?
So it's actually really interesting because we had the switch over from Biden to Harris. And I think that is when Kamala Harris peaked. She hasn't fallen terribly, but that was her peak, and she's diminished slightly as time goes on. So for the longest time, I was thinking, boy, the Republicans should hope this goes on for another month because she's not gaining market share with the stuff she's doing. She turned that around in the last week where she's actually stronger. She's speaking more clearly, that I think right now the Republicans have switched to no, let's get this done now.
And overall, what's your forecast?
Regardless of whether I'm correct on a state-by-state basis, I would put money down on Trump winning. The number of ways he could win are extensive. He just needs one of the swing states to switch to Republican to win, and I think he has enough momentum.